So, can you state your full name?
Francesco Calanca.
Wonderful.
That's my name.
And where are you from originally, and where do you live now?
I am originally from Rome, and I've been living in Florence for 20 years now.
Wow. What do you do for work?
I am a tour guide.
Nice. What's the name of your tour?
The name of my tour is actually Queer Florence, History of Homosexuality in Renaissance Florence. That's the full name of the tour.
That is such a cool topic. How do you personally identify your gender expression and sexual orientation?
I'm gay, and my did you ask for my pronouns?
Your pronouns as well.
Him, he, and I'm cisgender. Is that what you say? Cisgender.
Cisgender?
Cisgender. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So, have you ever heard a story of an LGBT person facing discrimination in your region?
Oh, in my region?
In your region, yes.
In my region, no, I haven't. Not in my region, but now my region is Tuscany.
Right.
And so I haven't heard of any serious, no, actually, now that it's coming back, yes. It's not that I heard it, it's kind of I faced it because I knew the person who was involved in this very tragic story. I have a friend who's gay, but is more it's kind of a feminine. So I guess he identifies as non-binary. So and queer. Okay, so he's very visible in a way, in the way he dresses and the way he behaves and talks too. So, do you know Torre del Lago, the sea resort, like the Tuscan town on the coast that's near Pisa? It's one of the most one of the liveliest places for the gay community over here in Tuscany. And 2 years ago, he was there like everybody else. And he was attacked by a group of people, and he failed to. He didn't want to report the accident to the police because he was afraid that of anything that could happen. And that story really bothered me because this is Tuscany, and it's kind of the land of freedom and also civil rights. And I was strongly encouraging him to go to the news or report the crime in some way, and he didn't want to. So I decided to write a post using my social networks, not mentioning his name because he didn't want that, and so on. So I just reported the crime as a general hate crime that happened in the heart of Tuscany, in one of the places that's supposed to be, one of the heavens, the paradises that we feel more safer in and most comfortable. So it should never happen again. So that's one.
Wow. Well, thank you for
story.
Standing up and using your voice for that. That's really wonderful. Have you ever personally been discriminated against for your orientation?
Well, I must say, I have to say no, because my family has always been very welcoming and accepting, and I never had any troubles. I came out when I was young, and they never had a problem with anything. And also, Rome, the area of Rome that I am from is north of Rome, so it's not it's a rural community. It's not exactly like metropolitan area, and it was a small community, and everybody knew about me. If they had something against me, and they did, some of them did, they didn't, face me directly or kind of challenged me directly. They were more like behind your backs kind of thing, sneaking around and spreading rumors about me. So at first, when I came out, I wasn't exactly discriminated against. I didn't care. For me, it was just like, was living. But then as I was growing up, this fact, this being regarded as the different one in the community started bothering me, so I just left and started a new life elsewhere. So I just started traveling and moved out.
That's good. That's good that you found somewhere that you feel more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So what does the word homophobia mean to you?
Well, it means hate. It means really not being able to understand diversity or like human beings. It's like being so close-minded that you resort to violence to help your tiny brain come to terms with this. So it's like it is a defense mechanism that works in the wrong way. It's putting up a violent behavior to try to understand something that you don't understand, instead of using your brains, your intellectual, rational side, and the faculty of like understanding things through your mind, rather than using your emotions, your violent emotions, to get rid of the part of yourself that you don't understand. And ultimately, I think that something deep down in you, it's something that you can't recognize and you don't want to accept, is that part you're trying to kill in other people. So exactly what you don't acknowledge as part of yourself. Some say that homophobic behavior is a sort of repressed, frustrated attitude, and I kind of believe that. But on a wider cultural level, I think that the whole culture is now facing this very homophobic moment because they don't want to accept what they don't understand, but they should try to understand, and then it will accept. It will be automatic.
It's a very good answer. How much does religion influence the lives of the LGBT community here in Italy today?
I think it really depends on where you live. There's a great divide between the north and the south, first of all, and there are subdivisions in the cities, in the big cities, like I'm talking Milan, Venice, Florence, Rome, Naples, and all of the others in the south. I guess that the rural communities still have this strong sense of religion, and that prevents them from accessing certain, ideas of the LGBTQ plus community, and that's a problem. But in cities, we've always been very, open-minded, and religion doesn't exactly play a huge part. But again, it depends. It depends on the family more than on the city or the neighborhood that you live in. It depends on your family, your education, your background. If you have a religious family, then the problems might be harder. It's like, I think it's Catholicism is one of the most probably repressive religions.
My family's Irish Catholic.
Your family's Irish Catholic, so you understand. And if you're a woman, it's even worse. Unfortunately, I have a lesbian sister, and but I'm an exception. My family is an exception because they're extremely tolerant. I mean, not tolerant, but like they'd never even use the word tolerant.
Wow.
It's like normal. It's like, why do you even... I remember when I came out, I was 16 years old, and I woke up in the middle of the night because I had this bad feeling, like I had to confess, own up. And I woke up my mother and my dad in their bed. I'm like, Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something. And my mom, she's like standing up and saying like, what's wrong? Are you sick or something? Oh. My dad was like sleeping, and I'm like, no, I have a boyfriend. I didn't tell them that I was gay, like, just straight out, because that word kind of had deeper connotations for me. Maybe I just refused to say that because I was afraid, I was scared. So I said, I have a boyfriend. My mom said, "Oh my God, well, I'm so relieved. I thought you were sick or something."
Wow.
Sick or like you weren't feeling well. So why did you wake us up in the middle of the night to tell us that? And my dad said, "Yeah, go back to bed. We don't care." And I remember that was my coming out.
That is
And my
so cool.
it's my family.
That is amazing. So, in the U.S., you may know that we have many states that don't protect LGBT people from discrimination. They're able to be fired, denied housing, and even turned away from public spaces for their orientations and identities. Do similar things happen here in Italy?
Yes, unfortunately, yes, absolutely. One happened very recently, not even a week ago. A transgender woman was who had been turned out of had been fired from her school occupation. She was a teacher at school, and she was fired, and she lived in the Venice region, Veneto, and she got so depressed, she started isolating herself. She shut herself out from the world, and she lived in a trailer in a park, and then she set fire to the trailer and she died inside. And she wrote before dying, she wrote a post on her social media, which was very touching. And I can't talk about it because if I start talking about it, I get very emotional and start crying. But it was one of the saddest moments. It really made a deep impact on the Italian society, and especially on not just the LGBTQ plus community, but on the whole, the media world. I have to say that in this case, all of the media, reporters, national TV, they spoke about this and they gave this case the importance that it really needed. And I'm sad, it's depressing, and it's something that should never happen in today. So this was a case in point, and there are unfortunately many of these stories that don't get advertised or don't end up in the news, so that we don't know of, even close to us. But yes, that's the last one that I remember.
That is heartbreaking. Does Italy have any laws in place to protect LGBT individuals from discrimination?
No, it doesn't, and we fought very hard for this. One of the last time that we did this was the Zan law. Zan is the name of the politician, the member of parliament who proposed the law, and he was actually together with the political parties that are left-winged political parties, progressive ones, that wrote the law and tried to pass the law, but it didn't, by just a few votes in the parliament. And so we don't have a law that protects us. We have a law that protects any individual from getting attacked or verbally abused on the street, but we wanted to have a specific law that punished homophobic behavior and transphobic behavior, and especially when it comes to terms, language, because this country really needs a law that protects us from a linguistic point of view. You know what I mean? It's something, it's on the news, people, politicians especially the most conservative ones, and conservative is a very kind word because they are downright backwards. The use of words is incredibly offensive in this country, and we still have a long way to go, and we wanted to protect our community and our kids. And my sister is pregnant now. They're having a baby, she and her partner. And I'm scared of the future. I want my nephew or niece to, live in a safe environment. I don't want them to live in a country that uses words as weapons. Okay, so the answer to your question is no, unfortunately.
Answer. That's so sad. So how are you personally involved with your community? Are you part of any organizations or protests?
I am, yes. I've always been an activist, and I've always been part of the ARCI gay community, which is the organization that is basically the largest Italian organization for gay rights. And now they've decided to finally have a section, like a part of this national organization here in Florence, and I've become a part of them as Queer Tuscany Tours, because I am the only tour guide in Florence that does this specific tours on homosexuality in the past, in the Renaissance times.
Yeah.
So I joined as part of my job, my profession, but I've always been a member. Even when I was in Rome, I was a member of different clubs and societies that helped the gay community. I also, I was on the helpline center for youths who had been turned out of their houses. Yes. So yeah, I've always been part of the movement.
Thank you so much for all the work that you do.
Yeah, thank you.
And you may be familiar with a law that recently passed in Florida known as the Don't Say Gay bill. It's kind of like what you were talking about with the teacher, where I wanted to be a teacher and I had to change my major with my school because this law states that we're not allowed to mention anything with gender identity or sexual orientation. So any LGBT clubs in school are shut down. If a teacher says that they're gay, they're automatically fired.
Oh,
so
is that what it is?
Yes,
okay.
It's a law now.
Oh, okay.
In my state where I live.
So is it a law that is supposed to protect the LGBTQ plus community or not? Because I don't understand. I mean, if you don't say that...
No, it doesn't protect it. It actually makes us very unsafe because we can automatically be fired if we tell them that they're gay.
If you state your sexual orientation,
yes. And if students
you could be
find out.
fired. All right. So this is exactly what happened to the teacher who committed suicide in Italy. So it's wrong. More than wrong, it's dangerous, and we should fight it. We should fight it. Yeah. I hope you are fighting it.
We are.
Good.
And the questions that I have for you, 2 more questions. The page. There we go. So what inspired you to create Queer Tuscany Tours?
Well, one of the things was, apart from COVID, it's an easy answer. I didn't have much to do. I've always been interested in history and art. I'm a PhD in art history. And so I was drawn to this aspect because it's invisible. And by invisible, I mean that there hasn't been an extensive research on this subject. And it's always, and it's incredible. It's like even ridiculous to say it out loud. It's still a taboo subject today, especially when it comes to the sexual orientation of certain artists, the most famous ones, and I'm talking Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci. It's a taboo subject in the university, at college, in the academic environment, and also on the street, So it's like you're touching the national monuments. So I came up with the Queer Tuscany Tours to not to rewrite history or change it, but to actually encourage people to have a wider perspective of what we have and our heritage and our culture and our artistic heritage, especially because the past is not something that you worship as a god or an idol. It's something that has to be studied constantly and seen from other perspectives. And our community needs to be represented today. And I think that this is the best time. There couldn't be a better time. Now, this was the time. I think it was right. And so my inspiration was, yes, the lack of, information and academic research and still prejudice, unfortunately. I just want people to realize that barriers like prejudice and hate and discrimination can really be torn down if you want to. And it just needs some practice. And it's right there in front of you. It just needs somebody who guides you through all of this. And I'm your guide.
That is so inspiring. Thank you. And one more question. Well, you pretty much already answered it. How many years have you been conducting these tours?
Well, these tours, I've been conducting them for a year now. And I had been doing some similar tours, but not exactly like this. I have been perfecting this tour throughout the years, and I hope it will be better. It will get better and better. I am expanding my studies, and I'm also developing new projects around Tuscany, and I'm hoping that one day Queer Tuscany tours will be Queer Italy tours.
Amazing.
And why not Queer Europe tours?
If I don't understand, I can.
Of course,
You
yeah.
repeat me? Okay.
So, first question is, where are you from originally, and where do you live now?
So I was born in Milan, and then I live in Florence. Around it's 4 years that I live in Florence, but I was born in Milan.
Wonderful. What do you do for work?
So I'm owner. This bar is mine. So it's a new job because before I was a visual merchandiser. So I work in a big store for 20 years, and now I open this bar. So I'm an owner.
So wonderful.
Thank you.
How do you identify personally?
My identity. So I think I'm a real man, a real person, and I can every time to help all people that come inside the bar, and I'm lovely. I think.
The best answer.
I
That's
think.
amazing. What are your pronouns?
Wow,
Your pronouns?
I don't understand.
Oh, do you use he, him, they, them?
I use I use them. So for me, I'm a friend, and then when the people come inside the bar, for me the bar is a home, and the people come inside for me is a family. So I use I don't call by name the customer, but the real customer is mommy. This is Elisabetta, but for me it's a mommy. We have the girls. They have a sister. We have an uncle. So yeah, it's a big family.
That's
We use
beautiful.
that one.
Have you ever heard a story of an LGBT person facing discrimination here in Florence?
So this bar is open for all people, gay, not gay, straight. So for me, it's not the religion, the color, or the sexual situation. For me, it's open for all people.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Then we do also a drag queen show, so it's a more event that we do for the LGBTQ.
That's wonderful. How much do you think religion influences the lives of LGBT people here in Italy?
So in Italy it's very complicated. We have the Pope,
Right.
so the people are very very close. But I think around the world, in a small village, in a small city, there are the same problem. In the big city, it's totally different. It's a large city. The people is open in the mind. But in the small situation, it's very complicated. So in Florence, it's a city, but also in this city, sometimes there is some problem with the LGBTQ. And then I think, I'm a drag. Yeah, 2 days ago I done a tour in the city.
Right, yeah.
I was a drag from Ponte Vecchio until the bar.
Wow.
I found many people around, but I was very elegant. So the people sometimes look at me, oh my God, but no bad words, not was normal, normal.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so good. When did you first realize that you were LGBT, part of the community?
When I was young. So when I was young, I remember because it's very simple. When I spoke with my mom, I don't like football. Never play football. But when I was young, every match near my home, I was there for see the men. Okay, and then tell Mom, I play with a football. Never played, but I was every time to see the match. Why? Because I want to see the men at the end of the match, they go to take a shower, and then I can see the naked man.
There you go.
Yeah, I was very 7 years. Yeah.
That's so cool. What was your experience like coming out?
You know, so I live my life happy, and then when I do the coming out with my parents, I was a relationship with now is my husband, but was 5 years that I stay with my boyfriend, and then I was happy, and I was I think 30 years, 31 around, yeah. And my family see Paolo, met Paolo, and I see this a real man, not, sometimes the people that think say is a gay and the boyfriend is like a woman. No,
Right.
Paolo is a musician, is an orchestral conductor, is a real, is a man, But sometimes when you see, my husband is my child is a gay, and sometimes now there is many gay that's similar woman.
Right.
But I don't like this type of. But the people is I'm here, so I don't look the other guys. Every people is free.
That's
Okay.
awesome. Does Italy have any laws in place that protect LGBT individuals from discrimination?
Yes and no. There are some number in the last time. There is a full number that if you have some problem, it's changed at the moment the situation in Italy. But before, some years ago, was very very complicated. Now we can marry. Before 5 years before, was impossible in Italy. Yeah. The name is Unione Civile. Unione Civile, come si dice in inglese?
Civil union?
Union, yeah. It's possible only from 5 years. Before it was impossible, yeah.
Wow, that's
We
very
are the
interesting.
last, I think, in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah.
You may know, in the U.S., many states don't protect LGBT people
Yeah.
from discrimination, so they're able to be fired, denied housing, and
Yeah.
turned away from public spaces. Does anything similar happen here in Italy?
Yeah, sometimes the people use the violence. Yeah. I remember 2 years ago, one guy is gay, was there, go out, was a little drunk, and 3 guys take violence with this guy on the street. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Have you personally been involved? How are you personally involved in your community? Do you attend protests? Are you part of any organizations?
So the bar help not all people, and then we are here for because I want the people know the gay life. Then when we do the drag queen show, we do the drag for the big person, but also for a child. I have many pictures. I'll show you. 1 second.
I'd love to see.
That when I do drag, I'm an artist, so I want to show. I like, and then I use. Oh my gosh! Where is? 1 second. Then this is the drag tour, last drag.
Would you mind if I took a photo?
Yeah. This is Duomo. This is me with a child. This baby love me, and she made also drag with me during a night show. Yeah. So
Oh,
I
she's
show
so
you.
cute.
So this is TikTok.
Right.
A customer opened TikTok for me. This is me.
All right. I follow you on TikTok.
Yeah, you can see the picture, and then every time I have beautiful dress.
Very beautiful.
because
dress.
I want the people love not only the song but also the dress is very.
That is beautiful.
And you see the people are totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
That is amazing.
only for gay people.
Yeah.
Maybe you can find 3 or 4 people, the other straight.
Really?
Yeah.
That is so cool. Wow.
You see, a baby dance with us,
Oh, that is so cool.
like
I love that.
yeah, it's for people. So and then, if you can find some gay that has a problem with the coming out, we are here every time. But also with the American student, the student, not Italian student. Sometimes, so if you are here with some friends, but you are alone, your family is not, it's far away. So for any question, we are here. We are open all day. In the morning we open 7. We close at midnight. For any question, we are here. We are open for you for help. So this is my house, but it's a house for all people. And then the picture that you see, there are many young people. The baby are my customer when they was young.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is so heartwarming. You may be familiar with a law that was recently passed in Florida called the
Yeah.
Don't Say Gay bill.
Yeah.
How does this law make you feel?
So when I was in Florida, when I started, it's around 20 years that I fly to Florida every year. Then the first time was incredible because for a gay, Italian gay, they arrive in Florida, and in Florida the gay life is totally different. You see guys hand by hand on the street, kids everywhere, or you are at the bank and you are waiting, and another gay start to call to start. They start to take some words around. You are Italian. Where are you from? In Italy, it was not so simple.
Right.
The start to have a relation with another guy. So on the street, sometimes you can find new friends at the bar because or in discotheque because you start to dance or you are waiting for a drink. Okay, how are you? Good. You are on vacation, but in America it was totally different.
Yeah.
And then now it changes also in Italy. And then I take something to Florida and I come back in Italy for my bar. And sometime yesterday night, one lady from Miami told me, there is one place in South Beach. Miami? Yeah, I have an apartment. Its name is Palace Bar, and they made the drag on the bar, and then they dance on the street.
Yeah.
And I do the same Saturday because I was there. I dancing. I see the lady with a man. She was on. I don't know the name in English. She doesn't walk. She was on a chair with
A wheelchair.
wheelchair. I go outside. I take a kiss to this old lady, and then tell me it's the same in Miami. I'm happy. Yeah, I take some and put there.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
sorry for my English. It's so terrible. I know, but
your English is wonderful.
No.
So what inspired you to start performing drag?
When I started, so Miss Flo was born with a bar.
Right.
Then when I opened this bar in 2018, I put a name of my drag, so it was Miss Flo. But the same work, the same play, because it's a play. I start around 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, for
So
private party, and then I worked for many years in in a village for tourists at the beach.
So you're one of the founders,
Yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
That's so amazing. And one more question. I'm sure you're familiar with a law in Florida that recently passed prohibiting minors from attending drag shows. Has this affected your business in any way?
So, at the moment in the States, no. In Italy, yeah, or in Florence, near the beach, sometime in private party. But I have some friends in Florida. There is Adora. Adora, if you check on Facebook, is a very important drag in South Beach. He is, because he's a man, he's a Cuban man.
Okay.
But it's very, very popular in South Beach. He made also many pictures on Vogue with Iris Apfel. You know Iris Apfel? She's a lady. She lives in Manhattan. She's interior designer.
Oh, she designs like houses and stuff inside.
Yeah, I show you the lady, but I think you know this. Maybe the name. I will show you.
I probably do.
Does it work? Sì, si va a prendere di là, si prende la cesta, si può prendere dal ghiaccio. I don't know why doesn't work my Wi-Fi. So then I think okay.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Iris.
Yeah, Iris Apfel.
Oh,
And then Adora made some picture with this lady.
you did?
Yeah.
That is so wonderful. Wow.
I don't know why that happened. We hope. Google. Okay. Adora, I want to show you. Adora Miami.
Dora Miami.
She's this lady.
I think I have a photo with her.
Yeah, some picture with her.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I went to Miami and she was standing outside.
Yeah. Adora is fantastic.
Wow.
And then I want to see Adora with. She's a friend. So. It is. On Vogue.
I know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, she is. And then I know she make some picture, but. And then she has, it's a bright Adora on Facebook, on Adora. Danilo, his name is Danilo.
Oh,
We write sometimes.
that is so wonderful. Wow. You have so many cool friends.
Yeah, we have many friends. But now we have more friends. We have also another drag in Miami is Pusilla.
Yeah.
She's also a drag. She with her husband was there 3 years ago
Wow.
in this bar for vacation.
Okay. Could you state your name, please?
It's my name is Marta Mugnini.
All right. Where are you from originally, and where do you live now?
I was born in Florence and I live right outside Florence.
Awesome. So, do you do anything for work? Do you have a job?
No, I don't have one.
Are you a student?
Yeah, I just finished the last year of high school.
Wonderful. How do you identify personally?
Like my gender identity?
Sure, gender and sexual orientation.
Okay, so I'm a woman. But I use both she, her, and they, them because I don't really think it matters. And I'm a lesbian.
Awesome. So, have you ever heard a story of an LGBT individual facing discrimination in your region?
Yeah, there are many.
That's really sad. Have you personally been discriminated against for your sexual orientation?
No, because I don't think I really look like I'm LGBT. So I'm like, no, I don't. I've met it.
So you passed really well?
Yeah,
All right.
I think because I'm very feminine.
Yeah, I understand. What does the word discrimination mean to you?
Or any kind of like not recognizing some trait of people. So like not starting from not recognizing those traits to acting violent towards it. So it's a range.
Yeah, it's a good answer. How much does religion influence the LGBT community here in Italy?
A lot. I think the majority of the misconceptions and discrimination towards LGBT comes from religion, because Italy has always been very, very religious, and oftentimes if you hear someone not accepting that, it is often based on religious views.
Wow. So, have you seen much progress being made in the legalization of same-sex marriage here in your country?
Well, some progress has been made, starting from people like actually presenting an act in the parliament to not legalize marriages, but like at least protect LGBTs individuals. But obviously it has not passed, and it was quite embarrassing because I don't know if you saw it, but like everybody basically clapped because it didn't pass in the parliament. So it surely has to be done something like a lot.
That's horrible. When did you first realize you were LGBTQ? How old were you?
Well, I realized I wasn't heterosexual when I started high school, because I really started like getting interested in social problems. So I knew I wasn't heterosexual, but it took me 5 years to realize what actually I was. Most likely because I had internalized homophobia, so it was really hard accepting that I wasn't heterosexual and to really find who I was.
Oh. So, are you out of the closet, and what was your experience like coming out?
Well, I came out with my closest friends, but I'm still not out to everybody, especially my family. I'm trying to keep it to myself still, because I don't think my mother would care particularly, but she's still not the most accepting. But the real problem is my father, because he has made several like homophobic remarks.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I wanted to ask, in many U.S. states, I don't know if you know this, but we do not protect LGBT individuals from discrimination. They can be fired from their jobs and even denied housing and turned away from public spaces even. Does anything like that exist here in Italy?
Well, I don't think you can do it legally.
Right.
I'm not sure though, but I don't think it's legal, but I am sure that happens. Something like that happened like last week. Transgender woman was fired from her job as a teacher, and she took her life.
That's devastating. Does Italy have laws that protect individuals from discrimination at all?
No. Like, technically, there's a law stating that everybody is equal and everybody should get protection for it. But there's nothing specific to LGBTs, Qs plus individuals. And once, when they tried to introduce one, it was turned off. Off. I don't know what to say.
And one more question: you may be familiar with a law recently passed in Florida known as the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
Yeah.
How does this bill make you feel?
Well, when I heard that it actually passed, my heart sank, because our law was not passed like a month before that.
Oh, wow.
And so I was already shocked because I obviously don't feel protected, because like people actually were happy that I'm not protected. And to hear that in Florida it's legal to like actually fire people just because they talk about people existing.
Yeah.
It's really depressing, to be honest.
Okay. Can you state your full name?
Martina Simone.
Where are you from originally and where do you live now?
I was born in Bari in southern Italy and now I live in Florence. What?
Louder.
Okay.
What do you do for work?
I don't work, I study. I'm
Alright,
still in
so-
high school.
Nice. How
you.
do you identify personally?
I'm bisexual.
What is your gender orientation?
I use she, her pronouns.
Nice.
So I'm cis.
Have you ever heard a story of an LGBT person facing discrimination in your region?
Yes. I don't know if Chloe Bianco was from Tuscany, but generally, like I had like 3 trans students in my school, and they all had to leave my school and change it for going somewhere else because they were like called by that name, not by students but by their teachers. So
Wow.
things like that. Also, people that got beaten up or things like that. Like it's
At
really
your
normal.
school?
No, not in my school, but beaten up in general in Florence sometimes happens, you know.
Have you ever personally been discriminated against for your sexual orientation or gender identity?
I mean, not really. Like maybe sometimes when we go out or something like that, but not really something serious, you know.
What does the word homophobia mean to you?
Like, okay, like homophobia is a word that is really normal in Florence. Like, you know, not only in Florence, in Italy. Like the homophobic person is the normal person in Italy. Like everyone is by default homophobic, and then it grows to not be homophobic when this person like gets information or things like that. But it's really difficult to it's really difficult to get informed in Italy. So by default, most of Italian people are homophobic. So this is a normality.
How much does religion influence the lives of LGBT people here in Italy?
Like we have the Pope, and like the religion is in Italy, you know, like with all the Vaticans. Sorry, I'll continue. So like there are people that are really religious in Italy, more than in other states, I guess, like from France, Germany, or things like that. Like in Italy, the religion is not only a religion, but it's also the culture of the land and the families. So, you know, religion is by default homophobic, and so it really influences, like Catholic religions, actually, you know. It influences me because even though I don't believe in anything, I still have to follow the rules of church and things like that because they are the default in Italy. So,
Have you come out of the closet yet, and what was your experience like coming out?
I came out with my friends. I came out with my sister, but not with my parents because I don't want to. Like, I don't believe in coming out or whatever. But it was pretty nice. Like, I didn't have a lot of problems with it, you know.
In the US, you may know that many states do not protect LGBT people from discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
They can be fired, denied housing, or even turned away from public spaces. Does anything similar happen here in Italy?
We don't have a law that protects people when they face discrimination. Like, we tried to have that last year, and it got cancelled because the parliament didn't want it. They didn't make us as the people vote for it with a referendum, and they decided that we didn't need this law. Obviously, it's wrong, and it's like Italy, and I don't remember what are the other country, but like 2 other countries in all Europe don't have this law, and in the other places it's pretty normal. Like they had it for like 20 years or something like that. Maybe not 20 years. Maybe it's little bit too much. Bye. Let's continue.
What is your favorite thing about your community?
I think the support. Like everyone knows each other in Florence. So, you're making noise now. Yeah, the support, I guess. Like there is not discrimination inside the Italian community, I guess, most of the times. And if there is, like, for example, I don't know, gay people that discriminate trans people, they're not welcome in the community generally. So, you know.
Same in America. So how are you personally involved as a member of your community? Do you attend any protests? Are you part of any organizations?
I mean, I go to Pride, but I don't do anything. Like, I go to queer, I act like a gay person, that's it.
Can you explain what is queer?
Yeah, queer is a queer bar in Florence where it's like a bar with music at night. It's not a disco, even though we always dance. People get drunk, and it's a safe space for queer people. There are not a lot of safe spaces in Florence, actual safe spaces. You have to take your chance.
You may be familiar with a law recently passed in Florida known as the Don't Say Gay Bill.
Yes.
How does this law make you feel?
It's bullshit. Like, I can't believe it's real. Like, it's so dumb. Like, it's not something I like to discuss about because, I mean, it doesn't make sense, you know? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Don't say gay? And then? Like, have you raised the problem like this? I mean, it doesn't make sense. It makes me so sad that a place like America that is, like, advancing those things has stepped back so many years. I don't know. It's like in the medieval times, you know. Maybe in the medieval times they were more open about it.
And one last question. Why is it important that our communities and laws around the world treat people equally?
Sorry, I was distracted. Can you repeat, please?
Of course. Why is it important that our communities, not just Italy, not just America, but everywhere, have laws that treat people equally?
I mean, obviously for equality. I mean, without those laws, the minorities are not protected. And if we are not protected, then we don't have the same human rights as a person that has those rights. Simply.
Thank you so much for your time.